Hello there, guys and gals, and you won't believe this, but we're still messing with wiring there, mainly because we have just taken a timeout, and I don't need to. Spring is around the corner. I know we're actually going to get back on the wiring tonight, but we've had issues with Ron. Ron is throwing me through a pickle here, and here's what's going on. So Ron looks like he has all new coil packs. Ron looks like he's been somewhat maintained. I am getting a misfire out of Ron, but not always, and it clears itself up. Yeah. Now, do I know if it did this before? Nope. And I'll tell you why I didn't know if it did this before. Because in the morning, I will come out here, and old Ron Burgundy will start perfectly. It'll run perfectly all the way to work. However, for the last 2 nights in a row at work, whenever I come home, it's been really nasty weather. It was like snow, slosh, ice, and all the fun stuff that you just love after putting in a 14-hour day, out, in the parking lot and such. By the way, these are tanks in the snow. Tanks. So thanks, Ron. I appreciate it. He goes where he wants to. But today we stopped at our local O'Reilly's, and I said, friend, I need help. Got check engine light, and I forgot my wallet, so I couldn't even get the part. I had to go back in town to get it. But anyway, we have a misfire number 3 code happening, because whenever I start this thing up, only after work, either 10 to 14-hour days, no big deal, but only after working those amount of hours, and I've already driven to work, and the car sets, or the Jeep sets, whatever, you know what I mean. Then it doesn't want to start, or not. No, it'll start. It has a horrible dead miss, and apparently it's cylinder number 3. Yep, never really had this happen before. So we're gonna replace that there coil, and I bought spark plugs just because I like to party. I am 155% sure they have already been replaced. If you replace the coils, there's a very, very high likelihood that you've already replaced the spark plugs. But nonetheless, I want to know. So I at least hope so, because daggone it, if not, I got to pull off the top part of the intake, which isn't a big deal. It just, we got to get back on the Mustang so we can get that son of a gun out of here and start on the 69. I had a dream of the 69 last night. I'm just saying. I did. It's craziness. But we're going to pull number 3, since, that's the guy with the problem. We're going to look at the spark plug, and we're instantly going to replace the coil just because. Okay? I'll let you know whatever I find. And the good thing is, it looks like you got to unbolt this bracket, because it's right there. All right, so let me see what's going on, and we'll zoom it on back here. Sound good? All right, ready? Break. I'm not 100% sure, only very sure, that we may have found a problem. We did find problems already. One, whoever did the tune-up before, there's supposed to be clips in here like I showed you before. Every one of them, they're missing on the passenger side. Not 1, not 2, but all 3 are missing on the passenger side. Number 2, they put in auto light plugs. I personally do not like auto light plugs. They are a platinum plug, I believe, whatever an XP is. However, I don't like auto light plugs. Number 3, and most importantly, these plugs were barely tightened in. At first I thought, oh man, number 3 is going to be, that's not good, or it's loose. That's why I took the number 1 out, because it was just as loose. If you don't tighten these guys, compression can help rip those things out of the cylinder head. I said it. It'll rip the spark plugs right out of the cylinder head. So, since we're here and we have to tighten them all anyway, and apparently we're going to have to figure out, I think I'm going to do a zip tie to hold these down on the coils, which the coils are new. I think I may rotate and put number 3 on number 1 to see if the miss goes to that one, possibly. I kind of like that. I don't know, maybe. Or I'll just go ahead and replace it with this one here from O'Reilly's. But either way, we're putting our plugs in. We're gonna go with the NGKs, and that's the part number there. And the reason why is they're way more gooder. And since I have to tighten all these damn plugs that somebody neglectfully did not put in correctly, I mean, come on, really, come on. All you gotta do is tighten them down. They were barely tight, I'm not kidding you. So now you get to rip off the intake, just the top, so you can get down there, which means you have to take off that bracket again, that bracket again. All of this just turned into a little bit of a job, okay? So that's okay. You want it done right, apparently you gotta do it yourself. So we're gonna do it ourselves again. And yeah, so the good thing is I won't be able to end this video until tomorrow after work and I tell you guys whether it worked or not. So that's a plus. Dang it. So anyway, tighten your spark plugs. Put the daggone clips back on. Why would you? Why? The harness was just loose. Like, I moved this and the whole thing started moving. That's not gooder. In any case, that's not gooder. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this last coil, last plug, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put them all back together. I'm gonna figure out a zip tie method, which is why I have zip ties, is because I believe that one right there I saw initially, you know, whenever I put it back together, I had a misfire and I knew that clip was missing. Yes, I put it back on that way. However, that's not number 3, that's number 1. And then I went tonight and bought these thinner zip ties because I have industrial strength, because we like to party. And so that's what we're going to end up doing, is partying yet again to something we was right there on. But the good thing is you can reuse those gaskets here, and you know, you're getting really good with 3.6s now. I'm going to get started and just, yeah. But anyway, this side, you know, is just, it's covered by the intake. You're going to have to take it off. You can't sneak it, so you got to take off all that fun stuff. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do that, come back at you, and I'll let you know how big of a pain in the butt it was. This is not too bad so far, and apparently this one's not. Yep, it was pushed on there harder, if that means anything, with like force. But yeah, so they're held on by 10 millimeters. I'm just going to go ahead and do this, okay? Love you guys, see you in a minute. All right, so this is what it'll look like once again. You have to tear apart the top intake to get this side. Now, this has a hemispherical type head. What does that mean? It means the spark plug is in the center of the head, like a Hemi, okay? So You notice how far down it is in there? Real simple solution, kids. Right there. Take you a piece of 3/8 hose, push it on the end of there, thread it down the hole, and twist until you can't twist it anymore, and pull this off. Why do you do that? Easy. This, you can't put enough torque on it to cross thread it, right? And you can cut this to length. If you need a shorter piece, cut it here. If you need a longer piece, cut it there. If this is too long, just cut it down. Whatever you need. But with this here, it's impossible pretty much to cross thread. If you cross thread it with this, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, you should be twisting on this sucker for a second. And not only that, whenever you're twisting it down in there, I mean, you're getting the threads in the right spot. And then you just pull it up out of there and tighten it down correctly. For the record, all 6 of these were loose. All of them. I wish, you remember these bolts on this intake was like 9 inch-pounds, right? Or 9 foot-pound, whatever it was. I think it was inch-pounds. I almost could have unthreaded all those plugs with this piece of hose. That is not gooder. Not gooder at all. So don't do that. For Pete's sake, don't do that. Second thing that I did, might need the flashlight to show you. Since I am missing all of the retainers, I guess, or whatever. See how I ran this? I ran a zip tie up over, under, and back around the whole coil and the plug. Why? Because I want a good connection. I have to confirm that I have a good connection before I can say coil pack number 3 is bad, right? A little truthitude. I don't remember if I put number 1 coil on 3 or 3 on 1 or versus vices that, because I took them off and I immediately got lost in, oh my God, these plugs are loose, is exactly what happened. So I did that to all 3 of that side. We do have the retaining clips. These are junk, by the way, factory. But I do have them. So it should be able to like keep pressure on it somewhat. Kind of is what it is with those things. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, do the zip tie trick. That's what I'm going to suggest. I'm also checking number 3 injector just to make sure I clicked it on there all the way. But yeah, other than that, if you don't know, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. Okay, passenger side, if this thing like flips it around because it's camera. Anyway, passenger side, 1, 3, 5. Driver side, 2, 4, 6. And it's the furthest cylinder head forward that's always your number 1. I think it's even that way on Ford. Don't quote me. Ford's different. I don't know why. But this head slide is slightly forward more than that guy. So anyway, I'm going to put this thing back together and it should be good. And I absolutely, positively will let you guys know tomorrow after work if this thing has a hiccup or not. I'm curious as a kitten. If it does, we're going to switch out the coil with the new one and do it all over again. Not all over again, just that one right there. Okay, we've already replaced all the spark plugs, got the NGKs. Now let me say this, I don't use auto lights. I just don't. These plugs are not terrible as far as wear or anything. I just don't use auto light plugs. Why? One, they used to be like a Ford type plug. I know there's one sitting there. I'm just saying, even so, I use NGK in everything if they have it. That's just, you know, that's what I do. So Autolite put a nasty taste in my mouth, just like Champion spark plugs. Don't care for those either. And it could have been just somebody dropped the boxes before I got them, but I received very many broken spark plugs before I put them in. Yep. Excuse me. But that's my little, you know, fun little stories about absolutely nothing. So now we're going to get back to work, zip this thing back together, and I will let you know whether it is Golden Pony Boy or not so Golden Pony Boy tomorrow. All right, so wish us luck. Let's just hope everything goes groovy, baby, and send it. All right, I'll let you guys know. So we are happy to report it is the next day. No spitting, no sputtering, no nothing. I am 185% sure it was a wiring harness that was loosely attached, not secured. And I stick by that pretty harsh. Just because, I mean, it ran too good cold, and it was weird. You know what I'm saying? Really weird how that happened. But nonetheless, we replaced the plugs. We zip tied the harness like we show you, and that seemed to fix it. We're going to hold on to the coil pack just for gigs, because we've already bought it, and we're going to give it like 4 or 5 more days, I think, you know. And then if nothing else, it becomes like store credit or money back on the card or whatever they do. But I just want to let you guys know that is absolutely what worked. Do what works, and don't spend the money if you don't have to. You know, maybe that's what this was about. And or install the clips back, because that's what you should do anyway. All right, guys and gals, I'm out of here. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you really soon on the Right Turn Garage TV. And we'll be back to this guy, hopefully doing some body work, or maybe just doing something else. We're going to get back on that, but you know, the whole body work thing, it's fitting panels. I'm sure there's a lot better videos of people fitting panels than what I can do. But if I come up with some tricks of the trade or whatever that can help you, I'm absolutely going to do it. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Right Turn Garage TV. Y'all have a good one.